I've personally been in a spot before where I felt like dancers were just honestly being really immature about complaining about their solo rehearsals in front of me and others who would love to have that opportunity. And it's like, bro, you don't need to be doing that. Hey friends, it's Kirsten. Welcome back to the Confident Dancer YouTube channel or podcast if you're listening there. Also, if you've been watching the last few videos on YouTube, you'll notice, yes, I'm in the same top all month apparently on YouTube because I have been batch filming videos and podcast episodes, and I hope you've really been enjoying them. So without further ado, let's enjoy this one together on jealousy, how to overcome it, how to handle moments where you're feeling jealous or envious of what another dancer is able to do or what they are getting that you are not getting. And I'm going to talk about this from both sides also. Like, if you're the one who's struggling with feeling like other people are jealous of you, what do you do about that? And also, if you are on the side of feeling jealous towards another dancer, what do you do about that? So, also, if you don't know me, by the way, further introduction, I'm a high-performance mindset coach for dancers, meaning I help dancers master the mental side of dance and overcome common mental challenges many dancers feel inhibited by in their performance, like self-doubt, performance anxiety, perfectionism, comparison, low self-confidence, things like that. So if you'd like further support on an individual level with that, you can check out theconfidentdancer.com and learn more about my individual mindset coaching program called the Confident Dancer Coaching Program. It's helped hundreds of dancers across the world really perform confidently to their fullest potential. So if that's something you want, check out that support below. All right, so first, I'm going to talk about if you are the dancer who feels like others are jealous of you. This one is more simple, okay? First, I would really recommend that you actually see this from their point of view and be as understanding and empathetic as you can. If they're actually being like ugly to you, like they are quite literally mistreating you, or being rude or vicious, then of course I would recommend that you just remember, as you know, I'm sure this is really about their own insecurity and unhappiness with their own life and journey, and it's on them that they're not channeling that effectively. Now you can feel compassion towards them, like, man, it's a bummer that you clearly feel this and don't see a better way to channel that focus. That's unfortunate, and I also don't deserve this, because you don't. But it is helpful to remember it is really about them and not about you. And one of the best things that you can do is just really continue to focus on being grateful for the opportunities you're being given, the help you're being given, recognition, whatever it is that you're doing or receiving. Be grateful and appreciative and also humble. It is important. Now, I trust that many dancers actually are pretty humble. Like, okay, not all of them. It also depends on what age range we're talking about here, because I've seen different behaviors come out of different populations more generally. If you're really being honest with yourself and you examine, like, how am I acting? Would I like to have another dancer get something good and then act this way around me? Treat others the way you want to be treated. That's super important. You already have the win, okay? It's really important that you are kind, that you are humble, that you, to a certain extent, enjoy what you have, be yourself, but also put your head down, do the work, focus on what's meaningful to you, stay in your lane, and don't provoke other dancers by gloating. Or, you know, if you know a certain dancer is really having a hard time with, maybe they wanted a role that you got and they didn't, be kind, okay? I've personally been in a spot before where I felt like dancers were just honestly being really immature about complaining about their solo rehearsals in front of me and others who would love to have that opportunity. And it's like, bro, you don't need to be doing that. Like, that's kind of stupid. Like, stop, honestly, shut up. You know, that's kind of what I wanted to say in the moment. And when I've seen it being done in front of other dancers who are emotionally sensitive, I'm just like, okay, that's just not being very respectful. So be respectful, treat other people how you want to be treated. That's always the golden rule, you guys. But then also, I have worked with many dancers who come to me and they want to talk through a situation where they are being kind, they are minding their own business, they're doing all they can to be an upstanding person and, you know, all that good stuff, and just focus on dancing the way they want to dance. And it's really hard because they do focus a lot on, like, I feel like the other girls are like kind of, or guys or whoever, they're bullying me or actively making it clear that they're judging me, so I get thrown off and I enjoy this great thing less. Okay, that does also happen, and that's not cool of them. They should treat you how they want to be treated. So if that's going on, kind of going back to one of my earlier points, it is really important to recognize that's about them. Don't give them the satisfaction of letting them really, really get to you. And I know that is one of those things that I understand it can be hard, but when you focus on really deciding what are my goals, what do I want to focus on, I'm going to stay in my own lane, I'm going to really just do the absolute best I can to perform this role or whatever it is, take advantage of this opportunity, I'm going to be grateful for it, I'm going to be humble, but I will not see myself through the eyes of the critic. And y'all, you know what? I'm going to pull this quote down from my wall and I'm going to read it to you because it is one of my favorite quotes from Theodore Roosevelt. It is from this speech called The Man in the Arena. Okay, listen to this if you are in a situation where you're struggling. It is not the critic who counts, not the person who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, even if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his face shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. I flippin' love that quote. You know why? First, I don't think as many haters are out there as a lot of us think. I mean, okay, I'll speak for myself. I literally catch myself all the time imagining trolls that don't exist, especially since a lot of my work is on the internet. Actually, all of my work, no, I speak in person, but a lot of it happens over the internet. And especially after the last couple of years where cancel culture has become more of a thing, I've had to catch myself creating trolls in my mind that don't exist, or assuming what people are meaning behind their comments or non-comments or whatever. So that's why I say, oftentimes when I examine the creations of my own imagination, I'm making up how many haters I have. All right. On the other hand, if you do have practical evidence that has been examined by other people and they're like, yeah, that person is really acting out of line, they're kind of being a hater towards you, they don't count. I love to remind myself that if someone's feedback for me is coming from a place of wanting better for me, I will listen to you. If it's coming from a place of simply wanting to tear me down so I feel insecure and my light shines not as bright, you don't get the mic. You know, like, you don't have a good intention behind what you're saying. Now, there have been some unique scenarios where someone seems to have a bad intention behind what they're saying, but I'm honestly like, you know, there's some truth in that feedback you gave me, and I'm going to use that for my good. That's the baller move. You take what other people give you, and you're like, how can that work for me? Oh, how could this be an opportunity to help me with my resilience? I'm going to take it. How could this be an opportunity for me to detach more and more from what other people think and focus more on my own goals and what I'm trying to do here? How could this be an opportunity to reinforce me being the person of character and integrity I want to be? Focus on that. You can truly turn anything into an opportunity that you want. So that's on the side of if you have been on the receiving end of judgment or unfair, unkind treatment because other people are jealous of you. That is what I'd like to encourage you with today. Now, if you are on the side of feeling jealous and you don't want to feel this way, you want to be able to focus more on yourself. This is a lot of dancers. then here's what I have to share with you. 5 very, very practical tips. Number 1, choose a solutions-based focus. This will always serve you in your life, okay? So what is a solution-based focus? It is saying, what am I going to do about it? Okay? If you're sitting around feeling really jealous and you're letting that occupy a lot of your mental space and your energy and your time, then it's really important to reclaim that and say, okay, what do I want to do about this? Instead of making this story of you have something I don't, so I'm less, my journey is less, I'm worse, you're better, this is unfair, or whatever the narrative is, remove this story for a second and actually ask yourself, first, what am I going to do about it? Do I want to let it go? Do I want to use this as motivation? Do I actually really want what they have? Okay, well, what can I do to give it to myself? Or go out there and get it, even if it's not all within your control. One thing I love is to say, all right, if I genuinely want what they have, first, do I? Like, for real. Sometimes we just want it to get what someone else has because we think it's going to make us feel happier. Maybe it wouldn't. Maybe happiness and fulfillment is available to you right now. Okay, so question, do I really, really, really want what they have, or to do what they're able to do, or whatever it is? And if the answer is yes, instead of saying to yourself, framing this as they can and I can't, they have and I don't, if you really, really in your heart of hearts want what they have and you feel like, I want that and I can get it, okay, even if you have doubt that you can get it, ask yourself, what can I do to give myself that outcome? What are the actions I would take to achieve it? Okay, that's going to be a way more productive way to channel your energy than sitting in this place of lack. You have and I don't. I would feel so much happier if I had what you had. All right, put the focus and the power back in your hands. What are you going to do about it? Have a solution-based focus. The second tip is to, again, question, not only do you want that genuinely, but you might want the outcome that they have, but ask yourself this, is it worth it to you to devote your time and energy to getting that thing? This is a question I find a lot of people don't bring up. It's been very valuable to me in my life. You know how you can technically, if you look around in the world, be jealous of anybody. You could be like, I want to be a professional ballet dancer, and I also want to be a billionaire with a yacht, and I also want to live a completely free digital nomad life, but I also want to be a professional ballet dancer and be tied down to one place or whatever, or freelancing and being in a traveling company sounds cool, but I also want to be an ABT. Like, you can be jealous of everybody, but you can't have all those things. Some of those are mutually exclusive. And listen, I'm not trying to limit your dreams, but you gotta be real. Okay, still focus on possibility, be optimistic, absolutely, dream big, but you can look at any nice looking thing that anybody has and technically be jealous of it, but the truth is that you are really going to be most effective in your life if you focus on one or just a few narrow things at a time and create change in those areas before instead of just diffusing your focus so much that you're like, I want to work on my fortes, but also my turnout, and then also this, and this, and this, and this. You know, it's more effective to pick one or a couple things that you really want to go in on to create the change. Confidence really comes from seeing, or partially, confidence is boosted by seeing that evidence of the change. So what this question is really useful for, of like, is it worth it to me to put the energy in to do what they're doing, have what they have, if considering, you know, assuming you can change and get that thing, then if yes, great, go for it. If no, then instead of focusing on you have something I want and I don't have it, so instead of focusing on that, you can turn this into an empowered decision that says, it would be nice, sure, to be able to do that skill, have that thing, whatever. But right now, I've decided that it is not worth my time to devote energy to achieving that because I'm working more on this instead. You're being selective and empowered with how you use your time and energy. And doesn't that feel so different to say, I could, but it is not worth it to me and I do not choose to at this time? compared to, I wish I could have that, lucky, I can't. Oh my gosh, y'all, I could go on such a rant about luck. I believe that sometimes the kind of random luck, sure, that exists, but there are lots of thought leaders and entrepreneurs who have talked about this idea of what some people call lucky, like you created those circumstances for luck in your life. There are certain privileges, certain things that people have, and they had nothing to do with gaining that privilege. I totally understand that concept in life. However, we all have choice in how we use what we have. All of us. I know people with not a lot of things, material things, or legs up in life, so to speak, that they kind of are like a lucky person in a lot of ways. They get help from people, generosity, they just seem to attract things like that into their life. And it doesn't have a lot to do with like inherent privileges that they were like born into or given. So I think the whole thing of like telling other people like, oh, lucky, you're lucky, like first when I get told that about things that I consciously work to create in my life, I just hate it. Tell me if you resonate with that in the comments, or if you don't, respectfully disagree with me, that's totally fine. But it feels kind of insulting sometimes when it's like, lucky, and it's like, well, I created that in my life, so I wouldn't consider it to be like the stroke of luck, like, oh, I just got this and you didn't. Also, for the person who's saying, oh, you're lucky, okay, yeah, that also doesn't work for them, because you're seeing what you would call good fortune or luck as something that just is handed to you, it's given, and it's kind of a disempowered way to view life. So you can take what I said and apply it to different contexts where that doesn't fit, and that's a more nuanced conversation to have. I want to be respectful of, but it's just, you know, like we could talk about, oh, okay, dancers who are born into a certain body that is made for ballet, so to speak. Like, yes, we could say they were given something, they were lucky, and I get that. Like, there are plenty of dancers I've looked at who have had those things, and I didn't have that, and the body I was born into just doesn't look the same way, even if we were to put in the exact same effort, do the same movements, and they did get attention and favor I didn't get, just purely off of like bone structure, okay? That totally happens, and at the same time, I think it's really dignifying to see people as having different paths in life, and I really believe that we were all created with purpose, that we all have gifts, that we all have good things ahead of us in life and good purposes to accomplish, ways that we're here to like contribute to the world. And what I'm here to contribute is different than what you're here to contribute. And even though I spent so many years of my life, getting really real with you right now, I spent many years, especially in my teenage years, feeling super jealous of other girls who had like really, really good feet for ballet, and I didn't have feet like that. And I noticed they got attention and scholarships I just didn't have, and I got really hung up on that, super discouraged. I made so much meaning out of it, but now I can tell you confidently from my life experience that certain gifts I only discovered later in life through certain life experiences and certain things not working out. Like, because ballet didn't go, like, I didn't have the length of career that I was imagining for myself. I had a pretty serious knee injury and had to step away for a time. And now I just perform for fun. I do like professional freelance stuff, but it was through that life experience that I discovered coaching, and I discovered speaking, and I discovered my skill for combining my interest in the mind and my intellectual capabilities and intelligence with my ability to articulate ideas and speak. I had no idea I had some of those gifts until later in life. And I just want to encourage you that if you're looking at someone else who just seems to have this inherent talent, you have just as much purpose as that person. And I believe that we're each given what we need in this life to accomplish the purposes that will be meaningful for us and are, I believe, destined for us. So, and we can rise to that occasion or not. Like, we have free will. I totally believe that. So you can live your life without living it purposefully, or you could take advantage of what you have and say, my favorite motto is, I always have enough to take my next best step. I don't feel like I have all the resources and things right now to like speak on a world stage, but I have enough to take my next best step. And I think that's a really great way to view life. At least I've really enjoyed it that way. So hopefully, I know I got personal and philosophical there, but that is really from my heart, and it has really helped me in my life to see things that way. So I hope it helps you. The next tip is to really see this jealousy as a challenge and an opportunity. Everything is an opportunity if you choose to see it that way. It could be an opportunity for personal growth. It could be a chance for you to work on your own fears and insecurities and doubts or dreams that you really want to fulfill, but if you're being honest with yourself, you haven't taken action for that. This could be the challenge and the fire under your rear to go make it happen. Okay, so see this uncomfortable situation as an opportunity. Get specific about how you want to use it as an opportunity. Is it for personal inner growth in your mindset, in your character, in who you're becoming? Do you want to use it to be more celebratory of others, patient, accepting? Or is it for something more outward? Like I said, are there dreams and goals you would love to fulfill, but you just haven't really pushed to make it happen yet? I mean, there are plenty of things in my life where, if I'm being really honest with myself, it's that way. And so me being jealous of someone else is actually a blessing, because it pushes me to be like, well, I'm going to do something about that. And speaking of interpersonal work, again, the next point is to examine what you're genuinely insecure about and unhappy about in your own life. This could be such a great time to do some inner work. If you really examine your own life too, this might feel very true for you as well. I find that when I am thriving and I'm really being the person I want to be, I'm doing what I want. It doesn't mean I'm perfect, but I'm happy with what I'm creating and who I'm being and what I'm doing. And the effort I'm putting in, I'm proud of that. I just honestly don't really care as much about what other people are doing. And I think that's such a valuable tip here. Not only to use this as an opportunity to create the things that you want, but think of it as a chance, well, they're along the same lines, to thrive and also to resolve the inner things that are holding you back from feeling the way you want to feel and dancing the way you want to dance. And of course, the Confident Dancer coaching program, my mindset coaching program, is designed to help you with that. So if you'd like help working through self-doubt, imposter syndrome, not feeling good enough, insecurities that are really holding you back from feeling confident in your own dancing and thriving, then reach out. theconfidentdancer.com is where you can learn more and apply for a free 30-minute consultation. Last thing, I know this has been a long video, but it's a very heartfelt one, and I hope you've been enjoying it. Celebrate what's good in your life, okay? An attitude of gratitude, I just haven't seen it steer people wrong, you know what I mean? If you use this as a chance to get really, to really dig into a practice of gratitude and celebration for what you have, what's going well, just what you're grateful for, then it's just a lot harder to stay stuck in that jealousy and that envy and that feeling of lack. It puts you into more of that abundance mindset of being grateful and appreciative for what you do have and acknowledging what you have, instead of just staying focused on what you perceive you lack. So celebrate, get that attitude of gratitude together, and it will serve you so well in working through a situation in which you might feel jealous. So dancers, I hope you really enjoyed this episode. Please let me know what you think in the comments or on Instagram through the DMs. I'm Kirsten_theconfidentdancer on Instagram. Please let me know if this encouraged you. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye.